everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 628. We are that podcast that talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
And I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And unfortunately, Mako-chan is taking the night off. I want to give you a bit of a programming note. She will be taking some time off from the show. It's nothing bad. I can tell you that right now. It's nothing bad. But she will get back to you. She will be on the show probably in a couple of weeks. She will be on when Ari has to work mid-shift, and she'll explain then. Hopefully, if Barry got the signal, they will be joining us later tonight. I will be talking with them and see if they can join us for a couple of more episodes so we can kind of fill the gap and all that good stuff. Again, it's nothing bad. Mako will explain next time she is on the show. So, enough about that. Let's get on with the show tonight. Oh, man. Drinking a lot of water tonight, tell you that much. So, Ari, how are you doing tonight?
I'm all right, I guess.
I kind of feel the same way, having to, excuse me, sorry about that. Having to deal with my upstairs neighbors and getting news and other stuff. It's just been an interesting few days and so forth. So, anywho, so let's get the show on the road tonight. We are live tonight, week of April 9th, 2024, right here on Twitch TV. We're here live Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You can always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. And I know I have been talking about this in the past about bringing on another show. Thinking about doing like either a Wednesday or Thursday like chill gaming stream. I just have to actually get around to setting it up and just stream for a couple of hours and see how I feel about that. You know, nothing too fancy. I'm probably looking at just firing up some classic 8 and 16-bit anime games and just playing them, just seeing how it goes. I do have my classic consoles. I might actually just pull the trigger and just get a capture card to throw into Daitenchi and hooking it up and just seeing how that goes. I just haven't decided. But part of the issue is actually finding the space to put all of this. But it's not.
I can only imagine.
Well, yeah. I mean, I am looking at moving into a new apartment, a new studio. The main goal is making sure it's at least maybe 1.5 the size of this place. That way I can sit center at my computer desk and have my tower sitting outside of it for better air cooling. Or I get like a nice L table where I can actually do a dual monitor setup and actually have the space to put the console right here. So, and I'm kind of hoping I end up getting another basement apartment or something like that. I like basement apartments. As long as it's decent cooling, Nothing too fancy about that, I suppose. So, anywho, enough about that. We went onto a tangent train, so, if you were part of the Voice of Geeks Network at vognetwork.com, you can always check them out at vognetwork.com. And they're also on Twitch as well, Twitch TV/vognetwork. They kick things off on Sundays with Bobby Blackwolf Show at 8, followed by Orange Lounge Radio at 9. And they're also on Discord with us. You can find us at vognetwork.com/Discord. And every show that's part of Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel, so come through, hang out, and talk. Leave some news, we give some criticism. We want to know what you think and all that good stuff, So now that we got that out the way, I'm going to kick it over to Ari and ask him, how was your day and how was your week, dude?
Well, I got paid today.
Ka-ching.
But last week was pretty hectic because I was on the afternoon shift for 5 days straight, and it was my split week. So the day after that, well, I went straight to overnight shifts, which pretty much felt like I was working 10 days straight, which was most definitely not a fun feeling.
Oof.
So, like, my sleep cycle has been completely destroyed, and well, I took off tonight because earlier I I had to get I had to go to a doctor's appointment. My
Mm-hmm.
prior my, pr- my prior pulmonologist retired, and
Mm.
I didn't know about that until I tried to order new CPAP supplies.
You would think that his nurse, or the nurse or the office, would just will make a phone call or send out a letter to let everybody know.
You'd think that, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But nonetheless, so yeah, now I'm seeing a different person,
Yeah, that's
so
good.
that's good. And well, where's what else? I managed to watch WrestleMania this past weekend.
Oh,
I
same,
watched it.
same.
I wasn't like didn't watch it live. I just ended up watching the replays of it and having to freaking hide from social media so I didn't get spoiled on anything.
Well, I will say that I missed like the first half hour or so because I went to go get dinner for Saturday. I know there was a couple of people that I know that actually hated night one. And I'm like, my friend, he's very old school. He
Hmm.
still hates Cena. I'm like, I think it's time to stop the Cena hate because he is this generation's Hogan, whether you like it or not.
Well, with much less racism, that's for sure.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, this is I enjoyed both nights. And as I said, this is a new era that we're ushering in. They're calling it the Paul Levesque era, which I can see
Well, they got
that.
to do something with what's with the Vince being revealed to be a
Who?
complete sexual deviant and a
Who?
overall piece of shit.
Who?
I get it. I get it.
From what I've been reading over the last couple of days, they're eliminating anything to do with. They're not even calling it sports entertainment anymore.
Oh, wonderful.
I
Just going to call it entertainment.
No, they're going with pro wrestling.
Oh, wow. That one I
And
wasn't expecting.
yeah, and there is talk of them working with other federations.
Other promotions. Oh
Promotions,
my god.
yeah, I know. Look, when Mickey James showed up, even though she was signed to, I think, Impact at the time, that was all a trip.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the fact that you had the Impact Women's Champion in the Women's Royal Rumble with her theme, that was all Triple H.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about that. I mean, again, tangent train, but you also got to remember we're a couple of wrestling fans. I like the fact that our NWA was working with TNA in the beginning, back in the day. I like the fact that New Japan was working with AEW, Impact, and ROH. You had that. It's not really competition. It's sharing. It's like I said. Think of WWE as your major network, which is basically what it is. And you have New Japan, AEW, TNA, ROH, and it's just that those are like your indies, your independent broadcasting networks, and they're just working together. That's why I say, when you're streaming on Twitch or where you're podcasting with and you meet other small independent streamers and podcasters, it's always great to work with them, trade cards, you have them show up on your show back and forth, spread the word. Because what sucks is they might not like who you teamed up with, but the next person's like, I like your show and I like that show. I will listen to both. Anywho, please continue.
That's about it, really.
Okay.
I was what was I going to say? It's just been a really long couple days for me, and just really felt ground down.
Gotcha. Well, my weekend day is I actually got off my Tookus and shipped off my lens for diagnostic repairs. Now, for those of you who don't know, I have an 18 to 200 millimeter lens that I've shot with my camera for like the last 6 or so years. And it was lost/stolen at Anime NYC. While I'm taking pictures, I put the lens down to go do something and come back, and it was gone. And I didn't, now mind you, it was in a pouch with a hook. And I didn't think to hook that pouch to my pants. I know more or less who took it, but I don't, it's whatever. So I kind of spent time like carousing eBay for a replacement lens. I found the older model and I didn't want that. So I got the newer one. And I didn't think to really test it out. But when I did fire off a couple of shots when I got it, it was a little slow, but I could deal with it. But what was happening throughout Zenkai was some of the photos were coming out blurry. It wasn't auto-focusing correctly and all this other stuff. You know, there wasn't any proper maintenance done. But then again, who am I to talk per se? That lens I had for 6 years. But then again, I do like 5 or 6 cons a year. And I think I shoot maybe on average about maybe 8,000 to 9,000 photos a year, give or take. But it's not like right behind each other. So I would say for the quality of that lens and for the photos I was taking, it was in better shape and condition than the one that I bought. So looking at the photos, some of them came out blurry, and I had to find myself auto-focusing some of them. And some of the shots where it had trouble focusing, the speed light wasn't going off. But I was able to make the best of it and edit them. Which, by the way, the Friday photos are edited. A third of Saturday is done. Tomorrow I'll be working on the Masquerade. And once I get through that, I should be able to take care of the rest of Saturday and Sunday. And then hopefully the photos will be up this weekend for everyone to take a look at. So I sent the lens out for repair. And I sent a copy of the purchase receipt. So they contact me back. And it's looking to cost me about $120 something to repair the lens. They basically have to overhaul it, replace parts, and tighten things. Now, I will say this 18-200 lens is absolutely amazing. I like the fact that I can stand right here, and if I'm taking a picture of you, and you're about, I'd say maybe 6 feet away, with this zoom lens, I can get a full body, a half body, quarter body, and a face shot, and then get a widescreen shot, because that's what I like. That's what I prefer. So I like having that. Then again, also I discovered there are some photographers who have like the basic lens and they're just moving forward to take. I can't do that. And when they have that little lens, they need at least 9 feet of space,
Mm-hmm.
And like that's just way too much. So, anywho, I'm going to pay the cost to repair it, but I tried to call them earlier. I wanted to know about the warranty, like when did it expire and so forth, because it comes with a 6-month warranty on the lens. But I want to know if I can purchase an extended warranty on it, because it's really good. It's really good. I plan to get a special adapter so that when I get my mirrorless, it'll work on it. I'm looking forward to that. So that's basically what I'm dealing with now. Over the weekend, I did a lot of photo editing. I watched WrestleMania. I can tell you this right now. If this was still the McMahon era, when The Rock came out to talk to Cody Rhodes, before the end of Raw, there would have been a vignette where The Rock would have attacked the Cody Rhodes and took the belt or something like that. The bloodline would have came out and attacked. Something like that would have happened. If not towards the end of Raw, probably within that first segment. And like I said, I didn't think of The Rock as a final boss because I wasn't feeling it. But I will say, the way he portrayed his character on Raw Monday night, he could pass for a Hayashi Mishima. He could. It's just that personality and that swagger he had. Okay, I can respect that, but I expected something a little bit more from a final boss. And the fact there's actually a Rock Final Boss Funko Pop. Anywho, I ended up
Of course there is.
I ordered 3 shirts. I got myself a Cody Rhodes shirt. I got me an Asuka shirt. And I'm glad they're actually pronouncing her name correctly on the show, on Raw, on WWE. And I got myself a vintage ECW shirt. Not the one that I wanted because it was sold out only in small because they weren't. I don't think they're making that anymore. And if I thought about it, I probably could have had it from Pro Wrestling Tees at a cheaper cost. Anywho. That reminds me, I gotta get a Mercedes Monet shirt. Anywho, enough about that. We're gonna get into some housekeeping notes here. And don't forget, our podcast is available on YouTube. The video version of it. It's available Thursdays at 12 noon. If there's no episode available, that means either I forgot or we didn't have an episode that week. You can just go to youtube.com/Anime Jam Session and click on podcast, and you'll see all of the episodes there. So definitely check them out. And we're going to our second convention of the year coming up. Right now it's me and Cinnamite. We are heading over to Castle Point Anime Convention in Secaucus, New Jersey. That is April 27th to the 28th, 2004, Secaucus Expo Center in Secaucus, New Jersey. If you are New York City local, it is just a 10-minute bus ride right out of the Port Authority. And I would recommend this. I mean, it's a 2-day con. You might as well stay in a hotel out there. It's not as pricey, but it beats getting up at like 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday or something like that. I know one year I went out there on a Friday and we stayed at the now defunct Holiday Inn. So, and to go back to wrestling, Pod Culture says, I grew up watching USWA Saturday mornings on TV. I remember 80s. Yes, I'm dating myself as always. Before it was Fox 5, it was Channel 5 WNYW. If I'm not mistaken, on Saturdays it was WWF Wrestling Challenge, and on Sundays, Saturdays was WWF Superstars, and then on Sunday it was WWF Wrestling Challenge. So I always watched those, and it was kind of fun. Probably if I had cable back then, I probably would have gotten really into WCW. Enough about that. So that's going on with housekeeping. Geek Roundtable, we're going to get into this, where we talk more about the geekier aspects of our lives and what's cool and what we've been up to. So, and we want to probably share a couple things, you know. So what you got for Geek Roundtable today, Ari?
I do have something else that I was worked on for a while, and I set aside because I wanted the appropriate time to show it off. But this is my latest Lego build.
Nice. That looks amazing.
This is the Tranquil Garden.
Mm-hmm.
I did it in like one day. It took about 6-ish hours.
Right.
Might be a little hard to see with the camera angle, but with the aside from the lotuses floating on the stream, you can actually see that some of the Lego pieces are koi fish. Have koi fish printed on them.
That is nice.
Mm-hmm. You can actually see inside the little building.
Okay, that is cool.
Yeah, bunch of different trees around it. It's right, now just finding a place to put it for any kind of length of time is the new challenge.
Right.
And now all I have left is in my backlog is the police the red telephone box.
Oh, okay. I realize with the change up in our convention schedule, I'll have more free time. And probably when I move into the new studio, I'll have a bigger space. And maybe I'll pick up one of those Lego sets and assemble it. And then probably... It's funny, when you're a kid, you buy these Lego sets, and you build them and you play with them. Then you would just break them down and put them in a bucket or something like that. And start creating your own stuff. And the next thing you know, you have like this bucket full of Legos. The instructions are somewhere. And you would just create stuff. I just know I wouldn't do what the guy did in Lego Movie, but I'd probably get like a glass case or an acrylic case or something like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely not gonna like glue them together.
No, I wouldn't glue it. I would just want it. I would put it on display. That is something I would do. I already have one display case. Maybe in the new place I'll get a second one and be like, here are my Lego displays, you know?
Yeah.
All right, so Let's see. I finished. I know I said I finished The Dangers in My Heart. I know I finished Hokkaido Girls are super adorable. I'm now watching the dub version of it, which is really good. I'm enjoying it. That's why I love the subtitle version so much. I had to go back and watch the dub. Let's see. What else have I? I started as some Class of Something season 3. All right, let me look it up real quick. Anime Classroom of the Elite season 3 that I've started. So I didn't finish it because I had to go to bed. I did finish. I love Magical Girls. Magical Girls are adorable, and that is kind of out there for a magical girl anime. So, and let's see what else am I looking at. And I think that's kind of sort of it. But I do have this to display. Since I have it here, I've been talking about these figurines on the show since I got them from Japan, and I haven't really shown them off. So, as you all know, I am a fan of Sailor Venus. That's a given. Exactly.
Really, I would have never guessed.
I know, right? So, I got into Q Poskets thanks to Barry, who pointed out the Yohane one, which changed my mind on getting them. Which is, I like to say, Funko Pops are just American Q Poskets, you know. So I pre-ordered the Eternal Sailor Venus Q Poskets off of Amazon for $25 a pop because I missed them on Otaku Mode. So while I was in Japan, I get a notification from Amazon that my order has, like, the shipping on one of them changed to ETA. I said, you know what? Screw this. I am going to see if I can find them in Japan. So one day I went to Nakano Broadway, which is like an anime haven. Bro, they have a store just for pro wrestling figurines and so forth.
Nice.
So what I did was I'll tell you this about Nakano Broadway. If you're going to go early in the morning and then go back 2 days later because you want to spend a day in the middle checking the local shops in Akihabara for what you're looking for. So I went through all of the stores and I found not one, but 2 Sailor Venus Q Poskets. There we go. These are the Eternal ones. I apologize for the glare. Let me see if I could turn this light off. Yeah, I could. There we go. It's not much, but here we go. The glare, trying to fix the glare. So there it is. I picked up this one. Now, the reason why I have 2, for those of you who don't know, most of the Q Poskets have a variant and a B variant. So I bought them both. And it came out, they were 1,980 yen per, after tax, which I think is 10% tax, 4,000 yen, something like that. At the time, that came to a value of $25. Now, given the yen is 150 yen to the dollar, I punch in this amount, 1980, give or take. I paid $13 for this.
Not bad.
I know. Even though the box is a little bent because of how I packed it up coming back from Japan, and it's quite all right. If I put down how much I paid in American dollars for all the stuff that I bought, I could not complain about the price. I mean, about the fact that the box is a little dent. I'm perfectly okay with that. So, I'm perfectly fine with that. Now, let me see. I probably paid more than $25, so. But given that, it's like 151 to the dollar, it's $26 now. I think when I converted my money and after the fees, so I think it was 148 to the dollar. So let me see something real quick. Let me see. 4,000 yen. Let's see. Divided by 148. Yeah, by 148 yen, I paid about $27, you know. So that there's that. But compared to it now, it's 26.50. So, you know, $1.50 difference. So, you know. And Pop Culture says moving sucks. I feel for you, bud. Well, trust me. Yeah. I am hoping once I know where once I get this new place, once I go through all the ads and all that, I figure out I'm gonna take this place. I'm gonna try to pack up what I can and start bringing stuff over there like I did. It would be nice if I could stay in this neighborhood. Makes it easy to shuffle stuff back and forth, but I don't see that happening. So, also, Pop Culture says, if you're going to display the fig, what does the box matter anyway? I think the fact that I kind of want to keep the box in pristine condition. Now, this is a figure I just got today from Otaku Mode. The box is packed in bubble wrap, and then they wrap it in paper, and then it's in a box. I think it's how I want the box per se. I mean, I'm just saying, if I paid close to $40 for that figure, I do not expect the box to be bent in any way, shape, or form. None whatsoever. And Starlit 2 says, that's a sexy Venus you have there. Thank you. It's not as sexy as the Uranus and Neptune y'all got for Christmas, so you know. Hot though. Pop Coaches, I moved at the end of 2022. That was a pain in the arse. I've already figured out how I'm moving stuff out of here, and I'm just like, I am so glad I have streaming services. That way I don't got to go digging for DVDs and stuff. So I just think the hardest part is moving the glass display case and the fridge if the place I move to doesn't have one. Anywho, now we got that out the way. We are going to get into tonight's show. I guess, Ari, if you want to kick things off, you could tell people about fans paying tribute to Funimation.
Yeah, it's the end of an era.
I look at it this way. People paid tribute to Funimation. People read a eulogy about Central Park Media.
Huh. Anyway, let me bring it up here. Funimation bid an emotional goodbye as the site disappears.
Yep.
2 years after the 2022 announcement that Funimation would be merging with Crunchyroll, the Texas-based anime company has finally sunsetted the Funimation name and website. And anime fans are now paying tribute to Funimation across social media. After 30 years in the North American anime industry, the Funimation name, brand, and service officially concluded on April 2nd, 2024. Yet Funimation is only surface level. The company will continue activities under Crunchyroll, as stated in the original Sony acquisition announcement. Users logging on to Funimation now directed straight to Crunchyroll's websites. As many an anime fan have pointed out since news of the merger in 2022, the loss narrows the anime streaming market further in favor of the already dominating Crunchyroll. Additionally, foreign Funimation subscribers are being transferred to the pricier subscription fees of Crunchyroll. And despite the two companies now being one, not all Funimation's anime library have currently moved across, although this could be due to factors such as licensing issues with some ex-Funimation titles potentially appearing later on.
Now, hold on. I want to throw something. I want to throw something in there real quick. I've been seeing people talking about going to the pirates to find your digital copies and so forth. Don't do that. Stop it. There is no need for you to do that. It's one thing if you, I still believe in, if you own a physical copy of your stuff and you don't have like a DVD or a Blu-ray drive or player, but really, I think most people I know have a PS3, a PS4, a PS5, or Xbox, you know? So you can still watch it that way. But if you don't have that, I can understand going online to get a digital copy of an anime. I can also understand if buying it costs like $500-600 because it's out of print. That I get too. But remember, you bought the stuff. They just gave you like a free download. That's all it was. Yes, you may have lost the ability to watch it digitally, but you still have a physical copy of it. So, you know, please continue. Sorry.
All right. Oh, where is it? Okay, let's see. The most controversial aspect of the merger is the announcement that Digital Titles redeemed on Funimation will not carry over to Crunchyroll, and they have yet to release an official statement on how it plans to amend digital owners. Some users have had success in contacting Crunchyroll customer service, receiving credit to the form of digital copies that can be redeemed on alternative services and a free subscription to premium for a limited number of months. Great. But Crunchyroll has yet to publicly state whether this is an official solution to the loss of digital copies of former Funimation owners. So, and after that, it's just Twitter, Twitter screen grabs of End of America, Rip Funimation. It has the various logos. Space Dandy dub premiering before the sub in Japan sparked a change in the dub industry. It's going on to this day, says another user. Let's see. And this is fucking sad.
What?
The last tweet on this page, it just says, "Are you sure you want to exit Funimation?" That's the screen cap from the app, and the Twitter message just says, "No, I don't." I mean, goddamn.
Yeah, I will say this. I forget the company that originally bought Funimation. They were a wholesaler. The fact that Funimation was owned by a wholesale company gave Funimation an upper hand in selling selling anime, because you have to go to a wholesaler, broker a deal to sell stuff, and then you have to sell your stuff at a slightly higher cost to make that money back. Now, with them being owned by a wholesaler, you cut that out. That's why a lot of anime, if you look back in the early 2000s that Funimation was, it was dirt cheap, That's how they got away with it. Now, here's the thing. Yes, there are some titles that are not on Crunchyroll yet. Remember, when this first happened, and they said that titles were moving from Funimation to Crunchyroll, you do realize it was not, they didn't flip a switch and everything was there. No, they had to move a few titles at a time because of licensing. Yes, Crunchyroll and Funimation are two separate companies, according to the contracts with the licensors. Even though they are one company now, it's still two separate companies. So they either had to wait until the contract expires to renegotiate it being on this streaming platform, or they were able to append the existing deal or something like that. That's what actually have to happen. The Sky Luigi Pick It Up says, I wonder if my Outlaw Star and Cowboy Bebop DVDs still actually work, or are they too destroyed to play proper?
Well, it's not like VHS cassettes where the friggin' tape quality breaks down after you keep playing it over and over again.
But there's something called bit rot that can happen.
Right.
But I think that's
speaking of Cowboy Bebop on DVD, they actually have skins of the four main protagonists in, I think, Fortnite.
No,
because there's a lot of shit going around about it, because
Overwatch 2.
The amount of actual money you had to pay to get them could have bought you, among other things, the entire series on Blu-ray.
It was
for one skin.
Overwatch. It was Overwatch. Look, I will say
that's the one.
Overwatch. I will say this. I bought.
I get all these mixed up sometimes.
I think it was about almost 10 years ago. I bought the collector's edition of Cowboy Bebop from Funimation. It ran me $80. It's the entire series, I believe. I want to say Blu-ray, and it comes with the art book and all that cool stuff. And I believe the director of Cowboy Bebop signed it. The producer signed it. I think Steve Bloom signed it, and Mary Elizabeth McGoon, I think she also signed it. So,
Yeah, it's like the old saying goes, and since I saw this posted by John St. John, I inevitably heard it in Duke Nukem's voice. I don't even play Overwatch. I just like the really thick ice lady.
To also go back to what Scott Luigi said about his DVD, if they don't play, I still feel if you have to pirate a copy of the series, go right ahead, because you're still you have the box set sitting up on your shelf. You know, it's starting to get to the point where half the anime I'm buying is just because I can have it. I may watch it once or twice, and that's it. You know, and as Pop Culture says, even if they won't play, there's a chance you could rip them to a drop. Well, there's that. There's tools for that too. Let's see what was actually asked. Cedarberry asked, "Is it still cheaper to get anime legally in the U.S. and in Japan?" Yeah. If you buy it secondhand, it kind of is on par per se. I just saw this in one of the Sailor Moon groups. I think it was Sailor Moon Unlimited, the group, and this one person had a bit of a snarky attitude about the stuff that was purchased. Okay, because she went to this place called Zest, and I was like, "Oh, Super Potato has that." It was just her response. But anywho, she went there and posted pictures of the Sailor Moon box sets. Blu-ray Volume 1. Which one is this? All right. The first half of Sailor Moon on Blu-ray. Let me pull up my calculator here so I can do the proper conversion. Okay. This, I believe, is a used price. So, this is what we're looking at. 28,710 yen for the first half. That's $189. Now, it's only in Japanese, probably with just kanji subtitles. Now, you can go on Amazon and pick up the entire first season box set of Sailor Moon for about $50 or $60. English dub, Japanese dub, English subtitles. It's the same quality. So it's a win-win. So there is that. And Ron before 21 says, considering my mom actually destroyed a DVD copy of Transformers the movie, you would have to watch it religiously over a year to destroy them. Wow. Understandable, but wow.
Wait, are we talking the animated movie?
Yes.
Okay, because I can kind of understand that, because if it was the live action ones, I'm like,
Well, I would say the live actions weren't bad. I watched the most recent one on my flight back from Japan. It wasn't that bad. I like how it tied in. You had both convoys there, or both primes there. You know, it was cool. So, anywho, is that it for the story, or is there more?
yeah, that's it for that story.
Yeah. Like I said, the rest of the titles are going to show up on Crunchyroll. It's just a licensing thing. Just be patient. And now, speaking of being patient, there's going to be an increase. There's going to be an increase in price for your subscriptions now. But you can share the account with people in your household. I mean, I think the majority of people who share a streaming account do not live in the same household. Just saying.
Or even the same area code.
I know, right? So what's going to happen is Crunchyroll is going to allow premium members to have multiple accounts and create custom watch lists and so forth. Now, that is a good reason why many would consider Crunchyroll to be their go-to for an anime streaming platform. High Dive is slowly getting there. I like how they just updated their app. They're getting there, and I like that. The streamer holds it in its own against the competition with essential features, reliable service, and an impressive library of anime selections. Yes, there's thousands of titles on Crunchyroll. High Dive has hundreds, but still is a great selection on both. Might even be close to thousands. No. So here, so as Crunchyroll expands its user base, many have asked for an account sharing option similar to the subscription feature offered by other streaming services. Netflix has demonstrated this is essential not only for convenience but also for users' protection. So that's what's going to happen, and it's going to put it out this month. This is exclusively for premium members. It will allow you to create 5 profiles in a single household. This is perfect for members who on occasion will share their accounts with guests who often alter that profile, that viewing trend. It's like I'm sharing a profile now, and it's like I don't really add anything to the queue. I just try to remember what's there, you know? And what's cool is since you're a premium member, you can have your own custom avatar and so forth. And there's also going to be parental controls in the app as well, which does make sense, you know. So that's basically what we're looking at. I don't know if they're going to pull a Netflix and like if your friend is like in another town and fires up and says, "Oh, this is not the home one," and so forth, you know? It is what it is. I mean, and as Pop Culture says, he shares accounts with his ex and it still works fine. Well, that's true, and I'm glad that's happened. But I will say, when I went out to Mako's, I think it was back in February, I fired up Netflix. It gave me the notification saying this is not my home location. So I had to temporarily change locations in order to view my profile or her profile, which was interesting. I know when I fired up High Dive on her machine, on her Xbox, it didn't say anything. It was just, it is what it is. I'm all about account sharing. I still strongly feel like if you're sharing accounts with somebody outside of your household, as in the house you're in, they should just charge like a $1 or $2 just to put it as a family plan to make it easier. I understand for some people. I understand the aspect of like it is too expensive for a family plan, which I get. But streaming servers and that type of money ain't cheap. So that's what we're looking at. So hopefully they won't be like, "Oh, you're sharing this with somebody else." That's a no-no. Hopefully that does not happen. Okay.
Well, let's hope.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We can only hope.
Yeah. I want to take the next one, and you take the story after this. Because this is like a favorite series of mine. So I'm actually thinking about actually sitting down and reading the manga to this. And we're talking about Rascal Does Not Dream. The light novel series is coming to an end in October. The final volume drops then. The story has been going on for about 10 years. So Sakura's antics are ending with Dengeki Bunko announcing that Hajime Kamoshida's Rascal Does Not Dream light novel series will end in its 15th volume. The story will come to a climax in volume 14 and end in volume 15. The author has confirmed that he has already finished writing the last volume and states that he'd like to spend a good 10th anniversary with everyone. A combined 14th and 15th volume visual was released, revealing a drama CD alongside special editions of the volume, which is cool. The first volume, called Rascal Does Not Dream, titled Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, was released in Japan in April 2014, and the series then sold 3 million copies across 13 volumes in Japan. The 14th volume will be released on August 9th, while the 15th volume will drop October 10th. The light novel series has spawned multiple anime works, including a TV anime series back in 2018, and 3 movies. Rascal Does Not Dream of Dreaming Girl, which I actually bought. I can't believe I spent over $100 getting the movie and the TV series on Blu-ray. We also have Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sister Venturing Out and Rascal Does Not Dream of Knapsack Kid. Those two were put out as a back-to-back, and they were actually dubbed. I am hoping that they make those hit Blu-ray, 'cause I'd like to purchase those as well. You can watch the TV series, the TV anime on Crunchyroll. I think you can also see it on Hulu, because that's where I saw it as well. So basically, the plot line of this series is puberty syndrome. Abnormal experiences rumored on the internet to be caused by sensitivity and instability during adolescence. This year, Sakura Azusagawa, a second-year student at a high school near Enoshima, meets several girls that are experiencing this puberty syndrome. For instance, he meets a wild bunny girl in the library. She turns out to be an actress on hiatus, Mai Sakurajima, who is also his senior at the school. For some reason, no one else can see this enchanting girl. How did she become invisible? I absolutely loved this anime. This is not an anime where you can knock it out in one shot. This is a thinking anime. It's that deep. After 2 or 3 episodes, you need to sit down and just properly absorb what you watch, and then get back into continue watching. So again, hopefully Aniplex does put out the other 2 films on Blu-ray. And Ari, what's going on with Transformers?
Let's see. Oh, wrong window.
Mm-hmm.
The OG Transformers is coming to U.S. theaters. The original Transformers cartoon is rolling out onto the big screen. Celebrating the franchise's 40th anniversary, the screening event will showcase the classic cartoon that truly was more than meets the eye. The Till All Are One Transformers 40th anniversary event will allow fans young and old to take a nostalgic trip down memory lane through the cartoon that started it all. Originally released in 1984, the Transformers was an animated series that defined the franchise for years to come, spotlighting the iconic cast of Autobots and Decepticons. Combining the pilot episode with a table reading for the series' original voice actors, the screening event is sure to be one worthy of the occasion. And, man, I feel especially old hearing that it's friggin' 40 years old.
Well, I remember as a kid seeing the movie in theaters. My mother took me to see it. And
oh, yeah.
I
didn't see it in theaters, but, yeah, the death of Optimus Prime traumatized an entire generation.
Yup. I mean,
unless the kid was a complete sociopath.
I think even then,
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's not one of my life goals per se, but it is a goal to have Frank Welker and Peter Cullen autograph my Steelbook 30th or 35th anniversary edition of the movie.
That would be nice.
Yeah, because I know I will probably break. I probably will shed tears if that were to happen. I mean, not for nothing. When I went to 90s Con and I met Danielle Fishel, and I was talking to her, I found myself getting very emotional. So, I mean, it's not often you get a chance to meet actress that played one of your teenage crushes,
Mm-hmm.
And I say it like that because when you see the character on TV, you're kind of really crushing on the character, not the actress herself, quote unquote. So, which reminds me, when I was on the line for her for autographs, there were people walking around. There were dudes walking around with Topanga T-shirts with her face, and I'm just like, I would never. But yet, here I am wearing this Ranma 1/2 T-shirt with all of the characters on it, But I feel there's a difference because it's a T-shirt with animated characters on it. Like, I think it's perfectly normal, to wear a T-shirt with one of my waifus on it, which I have like 5 Sailor Venus T-shirts. To me, that's No
Really?
big
You're
deal.
scaling back from the sound of it?
More or less. It's just to me it's an animated caricature. It's not the end of the world. I think it's more kind of little borderline if it's an actual person. Now I would make an exception to that if it was the actress that played Venus in PGSM. I think that would be an exception per se. But then again, what do I know? Right? Moving right along here. So it looks like the trailer for live action City Hunter is out and Netflix has it available. Somewhere in my house is the Jackie Chan City Hunter DVD. I'm going to be kind of pissed if I have to track down a replacement copy. So the live action film, which is interesting, is streamed worldwide on April 25th. With the trailer behind the clip features the ending theme song "Get Wild Continual" by TM Network, a new version of the TV's iconic first ending theme, "Get Wild." As the 10th single of the band, the original EP of the song released back in April 8, 1987, the Japanese Version Association recognized to April 8th, which was yesterday, as Get Wild Day back in 2023. And that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of a group called TM Network. For a split second, I thought it was TM Revolution. He has like 2 extra people as part of his band now, so I might have to definitely check them out. So I might this will be on my list to watch because I'm really curious about it. I've never watched the anime, but I'd like to see this because, from my understanding, this is supposed to be like the backdrop of Ryo's character and how he became to be. Now, the original manga author Tsukasa Hojo provided comments on Netflix Japan's official Twitter account regarding this. He was asked what he thought of the movie, and he says, "It was really fun and interesting. This is the first time that the manga has gotten its live-action adaptation in Japan. I understand why overseas fans say it has to be in Shinjuku. I think everyone's image of City Hunter is Ryo and others flying around in Shinjuku like this. I think many people enjoy the thrill of seeing it as a reality." And he has a message for the fans. It says, "The City Hunter movie, which has finally come to be realized, is really fun. I hope that fans of the original work and fans of the anime will watch it just to see what it's like. It doesn't matter if you just want to watch it before going to bed. I am sure it'll be so interesting that you won't be able to fall asleep. Please enjoy it." So the movie is set in modern day Shinjuku and filmed in actual Shinjuku and Kabukicho areas with the full cooperation of Shinjuku City, its tourism association, and the Kabukicho shopping district, which I do need to add to my list of places to visit when I go back to Japan next year. Ryohei Suzuki is cast as the protagonist Ryo Seiba, while Misato Morita is cast as his partner Kaori Makamura. And it will be available on April 25th. 16 days. Kind of cool. All right, let's see what we got next. What do you know? It's our last story of the night. Take it away, Ari.
All right. Let me close this out. Where is it? Right. The Sailor Moon store to reopen with a new look and new merch. They're gearing up for the grand reopening of the official Sailor Moon store located in Harajuku. In honor of its return, the shop is coming back with a brand new look and fresh round of commemorative merchandise. On Twitter, Sailor Moon shared the exciting news via its official 30th anniversary page at Sailor Moon 30th, 30th, I mean, confirming that the shop's return as part of the Sailor Moon's ongoing 30th anniversary event. The official store originally opened in September 2017 at Lafayette Harajuku, a major department store housing some of the area's most famous fashion boutiques.
Which I have been to. I mean,
How are they?
Okay. The location of the Sailor Moon store, it was like, you ever gone to a flea market and you see how the booths at a flea market is kind of set up?
Uh-huh.
It's kind of like that, but a lot more fancier looking. There's no drapery to divide. It's just really nice. But I'm talking about like the size of the store itself. And it was 2 sections, but only one section was open for purchases, and I didn't realize the second section that was there. So Anyway, please continue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. The location is divided into 2 major sections called
Mm-hmm.
Pink and Blue.
Yep.
The former contains DVDs, collectible toys, keychains, and stationery products, while the latter is designed for brand name Sailor Moon themed clothing and jewelry. Last month, both areas shut down temporarily for renovations. The Sailor Moon store will officially reopen its doors on April 19th. According to the description on Twitter, new and returning customers will discover a colorful and stylish new store decorated with sparkling aurora lights. The post also showcases examples of the commemorative merch that is being released for the occasion. Product highlights include tote bags featuring all the Senshi, in addition to necklaces featuring Usagi's famous transformation pen and magic wand. Sailor Moon themed coffee mugs. Coffee mugs, bracelets, keychains, and hairpins are also included in the store original part of the collection. And additionally, those who make purchases totaling 2,000 yen or more will receive a collectible store exclusive hologram card. 2,000 yen is about $13, by the way.
Yep. And I'm looking at the mugs. I kind of want one. Kind of.
Yeah, imagine it would be pretty nice to have. Ugh. Sorry, I'm getting kind of stuffed up here.
No, it's understandable. Okay, let me close this out real quick. I think that's it. Yeah, that's all of our stories for tonight. Well, don't worry. I mean, the show's not over. This is where we go into our Meanwhile in Japan stories, where we talk about more interesting aspects of Japan. And I know we listed 4 different stories, but we're only going to do 2 for tonight. This is only the 2 of us.
Mm-hmm. So, which one you want?
I'll take the 3rd story.
Okay. Then I'll go with the first one then.
I had a feeling you would.
Anyhow, a new definition of Japanese whiskey goes into effect to prevent fakes from fooling overseas buyers. About a year ago, with Japanese whiskey bottles booming in popularity worldwide, there's been an increase in companies looking for some way to fudge the details in order to claim that the product fits the design designation. Sometimes whiskey itself is produced in other countries and simply imported to Japan before its final bottling as Japanese whiskey and exported for sale overseas. And some of these quote-unquote whiskeys have even been found to be mixtures of whiskey and shochu, a completely different type of spirit. I've never had shochu myself, so I couldn't tell you what that's like. This is obviously something that Japan's bona fide whiskey producers aren't at all happy about, since it has potential to erode the distinct identity and reputation for high quality that it took so long for Japanese whiskey makers to achieve. So as of the start of the month, the Japan Spirits and Liquor Makers Association is putting into effect a new, stricter definition that once distillers comply by it, they're going to label their products as Japanese whiskey. Part of the reason the loopholes remain open for so long is that Japanese legal system's liquor tax laws make no form of designation of what constitutes Japanese whiskey. Left to come up with their own parameters, the Japanese Spirits and Liquor Makers Association has settled on 4 requirements. Malted grains must be used, and raw ingredients must be limited to multigrains, other cereal grains, and water. And the water used must be extracted in Japan. Fermentation, distillation, saccharification, that's making it more sugary.
Yep.
But nothing's being sacrificed for good whiskey. Like, I don't even think, the Deep South does that.
They might.
Number 3, the distilled product must be aged for at least 3 years in Japan in wooden casks, not exceeding 700 liters in size. And bottling must take place in Japan with alcoholic strength of at least 80 proof.
Mm.
So, yeah, it, it has to be like it has to be made with Japanese water, Japanese grains, and the
Right.
whiskey must be produced, aged, and bottled in Japan.
I see nothing wrong with that, you know?
Neither do I. This
Yeah.
seems like a
It-
this seems like a real, fucking duh kind of thing.
It's,
But
in a way, it's sort of like when you go outside of New York City and you find a place that has authentic New York City style pizza or New York City style bagels because they import the water from New York City. You
Huh.
know?
So anyway, the association originally announced a criteria in 2021, but allowed a 3-year grace period to give whiskey producers ample time to revise their labels and other packaging, and whatever kind of processes they want to use.
Mm-hmm.
And as of April 1st, the points list, the aforementioned points, are its official stance on the definition of Japanese whiskey. The association also asks that whiskeys do not meet the criteria. The association also asks that whiskeys that do not meet its criteria refrain from using names or people that evoke Japan, names of Japanese cities, regions, famous places, mountains, and rivers, and the Japanese name or the Japanese era name in their labeling and packaging. So yeah, good on them for clamping down on this stuff.
I have yet to try Suntory whiskey. My friend Beast talks about how great it is. So I might pick up a bottle eventually and try it out. And all this talk
I
about
also imagine that the people who do, who follow these so strictly, they'll easily be able to charge more because, like, hey, we're the real deal. We're legit. We're not like these friggin' fakers over here.
right. But I find it kind of reminds
They'll
me
probably
of
call it like Wisuki or something like that. I don't know.
See that kind of reminds me like I said, I don't pay for Peacock Premium, so I have the ads or whatever. So I've seen commercials for Wheatley vodka, which is an American vodka, and I'm just like, okay. And the jingle is stuck.
It was
in my head.
it was one of the sponsors for WrestleMania.
I know.
How good do you think the quality really is?
I don't know. I'm just if you look at the
Let me put it
website.
to you this way: I saw, like, it was floating around for a couple days on social media.
Mhm.
This picture from an Albertan liquor store where it's this giant. It looks like a milk bottle.
Yeah.
It says vodka 4 liters, and it's like 15 or 20 some odd Canadian dollars. I'm like, just stick that. Like, just give me a straw.
Just so you know, 15 Canadian rubles is equal to three American dollars. Okay, it's a running joke. It's a joke I stole from the WAN show at Linus Tech Tips. They talk about how the Canadian money is worthless. They call it rubles.
Ouch.
No, but I will say, I did order a couple of games from Video Games Plus or something like that. They're a Canadian store. It was like 100 Canadian, but after the conversion, I think I paid like $80 American. I was like, okay, I ain't complaining about that. All right, so let's get into our other story, and then we'll end up wrapping up the show for tonight. Yeah, I said I was going to take the third story, so I'll go ahead and grab that one. Now, one thing I like about what is that ramen? I think it's Ichiran or Ichiran Ramen, where you have your own private spot to eat your ramen and not be disturbed, and you push a button if you need something or something like that. But what about a cafe that is silent? You can't talk. You don't play music. You just sit there and enjoy what you're ordering, and then you go about your way. I might be interested into that. The name of the place is called Shoujo. It's a 16-seater cafe, and it wants its customers to enjoy the silence by eliminating chatter and background music. This allows for ambient sounds that are usually drowned out, such as people's footsteps, the gurgle of matcha brewing, and the pitter-patter of rain to take center stage. And this cafe is in Osaka's Nakazakicho's neighborhood. It's not just the benefit of the customers, though, as the majority of staff here are deaf or hard of hearing, and the cafe creates a space where you can experience the world from their point of view, which is really cool.
Oh, yeah.
Though the customers are asked to refrain from speaking to each other, it's not designed to be a restrictive environment. Instead of opening our minds to new ways of communicating, in an environment where all people are equal, disabilities don't exist, and a mindset that can change the way we view equality and accessibility outside the cafe. Shoujo is run by an association called Possible, and their goal is to aim to create places free of disabilities. Despite the lack of verbal communication, the staff are keen to interact with customers and take orders via written notes or menu pointing, and they're happy to share sign language tips for those who are interested. Customers are likely to find that the silence inside the cafe helps to heighten other senses so that the taste and color become more pronounced. This creates an ideal environment for truly appreciating the beauty and the flavor of green tea, which is perfect for the cafe's matcha experience, where the customers can live out their dreams of being a tea master by whisking their own matcha. That's really cool. After the cafe closes, staff offer hour-long one-on-one sign language classes with a side of matcha on a reservation basis for 2,000 yen. Not bad. At the time of this article, the value of it's at $13.22. So if we were to convert it now, same thing, $13.18. It's $13.18. So 4-cent difference. Instead of it being a formal lesson, it's a relaxed experience where you can learn basic phrases such as hello and thank you to familiarize with sign language so that it doesn't feel like something from a distant world. With no verbal communication required, the cafe is particularly attuned to the needs of foreign customers who may not be able to speak the local language, and they employ some of the most welcoming staff around. The employees' introductions make us want to be best friends with them straight away. So that's really cool. I like that.
Oh, yeah, I like the concept.
As do I. Japan can be a busy place full of bright lights and big sounds. Oh, yeah. So a quiet spot like this will be a godsend for many visitors. Whether you're interested in supporting a good cause or experiencing a new side of Japan not shown in guidebooks, the cafe aims to open your sensibilities and clear your mind, and it's ready to welcome you into its world as of this month. And I got to share that with my friend Misa on Wheels. She would love this type of story.
Oh, absolutely she wouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Trying to remember her. There we go. Now I remember her last name. Let me just drop this here real quick. And I had sent her pictures of like speaking of disabilities. You know how when you go to the elevators, they have like the buttons, like at that normal level where you can reach it. They have a second set of buttons, so if you're in a wheelchair.
It's lower down,
yeah.
So you don't have to, strain yourself especially.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're done. Let me move it over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So I think it's time to wrap up the show.
Yeah.
So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. So what we like and don't like, we're basically telling you that right up front. So you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. And while you're out there, check out our website at animejamsession.com, where you'll find our weekly podcast, cosplay tips and tricks, anime reviews, editorials, cosplayer interviews, links to our YouTube and Facebook pages of convention and cosplay coverage, all that and a lot more. Check it all out at animejamsession.com. And don't forget to check out the podcast. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM, or any other app where you can get your podcast. And just search Anime Jam Session. And if you can, leave us a little review through the app. We'd really appreciate that. A few kind words go a long way. And don't forget to follow us on our social media pages, YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. It's Anime Jam Session. Follow us on those so you know when we have new podcast episodes up, new videos, cosplay photos and videos, all that and so much more. I have some real cool stuff I recorded from Zenkai I need to show y'all. Like the blooper reel for our bumper that we did with Barracuda cosplay. That's going to be kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And down below, if you're participating with us live, is our tip jar. You can click on a link to our Stream Elements, our Streamlabs, or our Ko-Fi if you want to throw us a few dollars, which we'd really appreciate. You can also donate bits to us by cheering us on in the chat, or you can just sub to the channel and give out gift subs. Every little bit goes a long way. So now we're going to go around the room. Last words, Ari.
Well, since it's April 9th, happy Confederate Surrender Day to all you out there who worship. Remember, you lost.
Oh, shots fired. My last words is, this coffee candy is actually really good. That's all I gotta say.
I'll take your word for it.
No, I opened up the bag and you can smell the coffee. I was like, oh, okay. I got it from the Asian supermarket when I picked up those ocean bombs for y'all. Well, that is it. End of list. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode. Hopefully, Mako will be back with us next week. If not, she will be on soon. I'm going to reach out to Barry. Hopefully, Barry will join us for a couple episodes. We're a big old happy dysfunctional family. We're here for y'all. So, I'm Ranma.
And I'm Ari.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night, everybody.
Say goodnight, Ari.
Good night, Ari.
And as for me, good night, Ranma. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!